Hello, my name is Joel Z. Williams and welcome to my site. People in my neighborhood call me the Poor People's Advocate. First, a disclaimer. The purpose of this talk, this information, is just that. It's just information. It should not be misconstrued as legal advice. Last time we talked, I talked about the statute of limitations and how that can impact your consumer credit card case. If you are being pursued by a third-party collector or a debt buyer who is attempting to get money from you on a credit card debt, there's a few things you should know. And I'm going to teach you a couple things here. One of the things that the federal law that protects consumers, it's known as the Fair Debt Collections Practices Act, or FDCPA. One of the things that it does is it spells out what collectors can and cannot do when they are attempting to recover money from you on a credit card debt. For example, they're not allowed to call you before 8 o'clock in the morning. They're not allowed to call you after 9 o'clock at night. They're not allowed to use profanity when they're on the phone with you or berate you. A debt buyer is not allowed to misrepresent themselves. They can't hold themselves out as attorneys if they're not collecting for that particular company. They can't hold themselves out as sheriffs or other law enforcement officials when they're trying to collect this debt. That's a common practice that they like to use, especially on people who are new to the country, immigrants that don't speak the language well. They'll tell them something that they'll have them deported, or they'll make it tough for them to get their green card or something like that. That's a very common tactic. The Consumer Financial Protection Board, the CFPB, is now, started in 2011, is now the federal agency that is tasked with tracking these complaints and tracking the way that these laws are enforced throughout the states. In 2012, they reported that there were 124,000 individual complaints made to them from people who were being pursued for a credit card debt. The number one complaint by far is phone harassment. Now, what I try to tell people is every state has laws on recording conversations. Here in Missouri, this is what is known as a single consent state, meaning only one party of a conversation needs to be informed and give consent for that conversation to be tape recorded. Now, it's important for you to check your state because every state's different. But if your state allows for one party within a conversation to record a conversation, it may be in your best interest to keep your smartphone equipped with a recording device if you are getting harassed on the phone. If debt buyers are calling you, another big no-no is they are required to identify themselves as collections people who are trying to collect a debt, and they have to identify the purpose of the call. So one common tactic, if they don't really know your number and they assume that you live at this address, one thing that they'll do is they'll call and leave a open-ended voicemail. They'll say, "Hey, this is John. Give me a call when you get home." That's illegal under the FDCPA. That's unlawful. They have to identify themselves as a debt buyer and state the purpose of their call, even if it's on a voice recording. Okay? Texting you. There's a lot of surreptitious texting. Sometimes even the worst one I've seen is when they befriend you on social media, Facebook or Twitter, and they say, "Hey, how you been? What's going on?" And they're attempting to get you to respond to them so that they can find out for sure and identify you as that person. There's a big case recently in Kansas City, Missouri, where a person was sued by a company and they sued the wrong person. Her name was Maria Guadalupe Mejia, and it turned out the person they were looking for was named Mario Guadalupe Mejia. And that woman won $83 million in that lawsuit. Okay, the point that I'm trying to make here is that you have statutory protected rights. And if a creditor, especially a debt buyer, is coming after you and they're harassing you and they're using these egregious methods to try to collect from you, threatening to lock you up, issuing a warrant for your arrest if you don't pay. These are common tactics. Calling you names, calling you a deadbeat for not paying your debt. These are all things that are expressly forbidden. Okay? If you want a referral, you need some help to find an attorney in your area. Wherever you are, just post it on this site, get in contact with me. We'll find somebody who can handle you. Attorneys, if you are looking for new clients and you're looking to help people in consumer law, let me know and I'll put you on that list. The only caveat I have is I don't want attorneys that are looking for upfront fees. I want attorneys that are working on contingency fee basis, and I don't want attorneys that are gouging folks. I think 20% is a good amount. All right, so again, my name is Joel Z. Williams. Welcome to the site. Look at the blog. Look at the blog. Read the blog. The blog is chock full of all kinds of hints, tips and tricks, and hyperlinks. It can show you, I think I have a link on the site that actually shows you the statute of limitations for your state. So if a creditor is coming after you and saying they're going to sue you, you can actually see if they are even entitled to sue you. Sometimes they'll tell you that they're going to sue you and they know they can't. They're beyond the statute of limitations. Again, my name is Joel Z. Williams, the Poor People Advocate. Thank you very much for coming. We'll do another one soon.